out with the old and now in with the new. So my old school antenna, it actually did pick up stations. You know, they're still UHF and VHF stations, so the big mast antennas of the past do still work, but the newer units are much smaller and much more designed for today's digital HD TV reception, and they look a lot better. So I went ahead and switched over to this Winegard 7550 Elite, and that's just the one that I picked out. There's lots of other options out there that you could pick from. Hey guys, this is Nate, and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, so today I'm going to talk about getting free HD TV over the air, and it's kind of not it kind of fell off the list of a lot of people. It came out of favor. I know when I grew up, I had over the air, and then we eventually got satellite TV. Obviously you're paying a lot of money for satellite TV, and then cable came along, and then over the air kind of got forgotten. Well, it really got a big revamp here in the past several years, and now you get full HD. And in fact, it's actually higher quality than all the satellite and cable stuff because it's not compressed. So even though it might be 1080p quality, it's uncompressed 1080p, so it's actually better quality. But anyways, the point is, a lot of people have access to this free TV. It's the ABC, it's all the mainstream channels. You're not going to get obviously ESPN or some of the movie channels, that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of content. I was surprised how many channels I was able to get out here, and so that's what I'm going to show you to do, is how you can get it yourself, how you can find out even before you do anything of just how many stations you might be able to get, as well as what type of antenna you can get in. And honestly, it's not that much money. It's about a month of a cable bill to get set up with your own antenna so you can have it on your TV. Okay, Google, go to channel 12 on the Roku. So for my TV, I have it set up, and I get a lot of channels out here on over the air. This is channel 12, which for me is my local ABC station. But so it loads up, and again, it's high def. If you have a recorder or something, you could obviously record that and save it for later. So now I'm down in the basement, and the coax cable comes from the antenna up on the mast, down the antenna, and then goes inside the house over there, and then it comes through the basement ceiling here, and it pops out right here. And this is where I have this is, so the preamp is actually in the antenna itself. So this is the preamp power supply. So this basically injects power, and it sends it up through the coax back up to the antenna. So that's powered here with just a little USB adapter plug. So that's a Winegard preamp setup to match the Winegard antenna that's up there, and that is needed to really amplify the signal from the antenna. So you want to put this, they say ideally within 100 feet, and I'm probably right at that distance. It does work when it's further away, but they don't recommend it. So you want to have this connection point within 100 feet of run from there. And then from here, and I have a distribution box that sends this coax to multiple jacks in the house. And you obviously want to make sure, as you add more TVs, you might need more amplification. So there are different amplifiers out there, and the best way to do it is to have the preamp on the antenna itself. This is my opinion. There are amps you can run in line closer to the TV, but if the signal's already degraded by the time you put that antenna or the amplifier in at the TV, it doesn't do you a lot of good. So the best way is to boost the signal right from the get-go, and then send that boosted signal throughout the house. Now I'm inside down in the basement. The antenna mast is actually just outside the window in front of me behind the camera, but that cable runs throughout here, and then one of the jacks is right over here on the wall, and it just goes to this TV. Now, in addition to the big outdoor, actually it's a fairly small outdoor antenna, they also make these little small indoor ones, as well as this one's like I think I bought this like $10. It's really cheap online. This one's from like Monoprice, but this does work for a closer station, right? But for me, I'm kind of far away from pretty much all of my stations, so this does actually pick up a few of them. Probably, you know, you have to look online. I'll show you guys that step next of how you can go on there and map and find out where all your stations are, and then how do you you know, find the right antenna to pick up those stations. So we'll go through that next, but I have used this in the past and it does work, and it's just based off how far away the antenna is. That will give you the full HD quality just as well as the other one. It's just about the range that it goes. So here I have my TV down here, and then I'm going to show you how to mess with the settings so that you actually have it search for the channels. And now they actually did do a setup on it where it they actually updated the frequencies, and so I think it was in 2020 they updated it. So like if you had your TV set up for years, it actually probably is worthwhile to go in there and do another scan to make sure, because some of them change frequency bands, and you'll need to rescan to find the new channels. So as you go through here, you'll see they'll typically go through a DTV, which is digital TV, and that's what these will show up as. So you can see this one scanning through here, how many channels I'm getting, and it's just going through and picking them up. Now what's kind of interesting with this digital TV is, let's say you pick up channel 12, there might be a 12.1, which is like the main station signal, but then there's a 12.2, 12.3, 12.4, 12.5, and so you have to kind of get used to that versus the old school method where it's just so you can see I'm up to 81. You know, but the old school method I had when I was growing up was the big antenna with a rotor, and you had to spin it to point it towards the right one. There was certainly only one channel 3, one channel 12, that kind of stuff. All right, so you can see here this one picked up 81 channels, but what I'm saying is it doesn't, you know, that the 12.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 5 channels on here. So I'll go ahead and skip all of the other ones because I don't have cable and I don't have the old school TV one anymore. Now I can go in here to channel edit on this one at least, and this kind of gives me an overview of what channels I am getting here. And so you can see these different ones, and they tell you what station they are. Each TV is going to be a little different with how much information it gives you, but you can also get this list online, and so I'll show you guys that step next. But do a scan, and then there are times when it will pick up perhaps a station that either doesn't give you good signal or might be inconsistent. It's kind of a intermittent signal, so you could delete that one, and or you could potentially add some. So if you know for a fact you should be getting one, you could try to add it in there manually. All right, so to find out what stations you can get based off your location, there's kind of two sites I go to. Now antennaweb.com .org is the one that's I think officially sponsored by the like the national TV broadcasting, so it's kind of the official one, but I don't like the interface quite as much. So another place I've gone to is antennasdirect.com, and for this one you can type in your so for this one you can type in your information, and then you can, so let me just go ahead and type in my address, and then we'll click a search here, and you can see what I like about it is it gives you the radius lines, and then it gives you these different colors, and the colors indicate what type of antenna you need to buy. So whether you need like a small indoor antenna like I showed downstairs, a little blue one that can just go in a window. They make other indoor ones. Some of them, actually look nice. They're designed to sit like kind of on a TV stand or something. But or you might need to put one in the attic. It's kind of like the next level. And then the most extreme level is going outside up on a mast, at the roof height, which is what I have. And so if you look here, you can see I'm the red pin point there, and then obviously all of my stations are quite far away. I'm kind of like in this middle point, equidistant. So you can scroll down, and these things give you the mile radius. So the ones I pick up the farthest, they're 60 miles away. So let's scroll down to this channel list, and this is where it will show you all of your stations that you can get, as well as what the real name is, because who knows what J or WJRT is, right? So that's ABC. So that's something you can understand. Now the other thing to know is there's the virtual channel, which is the channel that you see on the TV, which I was talking about, like the 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then there's the real channel. And I guess 12 is the wrong one to use, because its real channel is also 12. But if you look at lots of them, they typically don't match up. So what shows up on your TV as channel 25, the actual real channel from a signal standpoint is actually channel 18. But so anyways, the other point is that it tells you your true heading, which means from your location, what heading do you need to be to point at that device. So if you had a compass out, you could use that compass to help you point that antenna, and then it tells you the distance away. So these are all my channels, and I guess I haven't actually checked to see how many channels this shows. Is this 81 that I just scanned and got? I'm not sure on that, but it's pretty dang close to it. So I've had pretty good success with this list, as well as with what it tells you as far as what channels you can get. So like these red ones at 60 miles away, those are intermittent for me to be able to get those. I typically don't. So I'm typically stuck at this 50-mile range for my personal experience based off the terrain of where I'm at. That can vary for you. So antenna web, I can show you that one real fast as well. And you can check if the antenna is going to be raised up on a mast, because that obviously gives you better signal. This is what antenna web gives you, and it tries to do a similar thing. They have color coding for what type of antenna. The other thing I guess I haven't mentioned yet is the antennas. There's kind of two real types. One is an omnidirectional, where it's sending or it's receiving from all directions, and then the other ones are the directional antennas. And so mine is a directional antenna with a preamp. So in this antenna website, it's a purple or violet one, so it should be like the best that can be. But what I don't like about the antenna web results is, you can see here there's fewer channels. Now on this lumps them together. So this channel 7 here is actually 4 total channels, but even still the list here is less comprehensive, whereas the antennas direct, I guess, is a little bit more optimistic with which ones you could potentially pick up. So just something to note there, that either of these work and they tell you what you can get. The other thing to know is the directional antennas, they're really not just one-way directional. They're kind of two-way directional. So you can get good signal from the back side of them as well as the front side of them. And so the way mine is set up, if I were to look at this map down here, my front side is pointed towards the violet, so the Detroit stations, and the back side is pointed towards these Saginaw, Flint stations. But I'm still able to actually pick up some of these Lansing stations, which I was surprised I was going to get any of those. I was focused on Detroit and Flint, but I'm able to actually pick up some of the Lansing ones. So even when they're directional, it doesn't mean that you're only going to be able to get straight line reception from these different channels.